I'm saying again. By the way, this is the Mystic Man. If you want to find me on TikTok, the Mystic Man 295, streaming from St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the Caribbean, right? You can also find me on YouTube. But I use this opportunity to express, because I am passionate. I am passionate about Black history, and I am pissed off about what took place in centuries ago, leading up to even now in the 24th century, and what is still happening. What the white man, I put it into a singular term because, I mean, it's black man and white man. That's how they put it. We didn't put it that way. They put it that way. And they say they are superior to us. They show us white Jesus and all them kind of things, you know. So that's why I kind of making this comparison here right now. So it's not my thing, it's their thing, right? And what they did, how they set up this wall, and how they have the police and the police and the armies and so on, the military capabilities that they are setting up in the world right now, and they becomes wall police with NATO and with the WHO and with the United Nations, the biggest false prophet. I call them the United Nations. I call them wolves in sheep clothing. You know, going into people's countries, saying they're going in there to keep peace, but that is not their intention. So when I look at them in the whole thing, in the whole scheme of things, I see them as wolves in sheep clothing. They are in Africa. They are in Africa, and they are in other parts of the world. And they are turning a blind eye. They are turning a blind eye to certain atrocities and other wickedness. I don't even want to call it fancy names, but other wickedness that is taking place in different parts of the world, like for example in Sudan and different parts of Africa, in Palestine, where the Palestinians are being killed by the Jews, the so-called Jews. I call them the so-called Jews. The reason why I call them the so-called Jews is because they are not the real Jews. And they have this word that they use, anti-Semitism. And when I check out the meaning of the word, it means, speaking against the Jews. Yeah. So what you call racism? What you call racism? What is the meaning of racism? But they don't want you to talk about racism. They don't want you to talk about racial discrimination. And they don't want you to talk about white supremacy. Right? But they have a meaning and a big significance to speaking against the so-called Jews, anti-Semitism. Well, take it from me now. The Jews, the so-called Jews who are in Israel, in Israel, saying that they are Jews, they are not Jews. And if you want to know, if you want to know what I'm talking about, check in Revelation chapter 1 and 2, and you will find it, where it says that I know them who say that they are Jews and are not, but they are of the synagogue of Satan. White man fuck up the world all over. Went into people's countries and rape and rob. They invaded force and rape and rob and lie and cheat and steal and everything. And they set up the world the way they want it. And this is the fate of the world today. Well, seemingly, but in my mind, I am optimistic. We can change that. We can change that, because you know why? There are more of we than them. There are more of we than them. So we can change that. All black people need to do is come together. All the African continent need to do is come together. Forget about the borders. They put the borders there. They divided up Africa. Fuck them on the borders, right? And get France to say fuck away with the Franco, whatever they fucking call it, where France is ripping out billions of dollars from Africa annually. Right? Yo, time for the African leaders to come together and get rid of this Franco, whatever they call it. It pisses me off, and I don't even care about the name, right? But this is the situation. The United Nations and all the leading organizations in the world need to come together, need to stand up and tell France to stop that wickedness that they are doing to the African nations. We didn't choose that. You put it there. You did what you did, right? So I am demanding that you change that. I am demanding that you change that. That's why I call the United Nations a wolf in sheep clothing, because they're not standing for true justice. America, England, Canada, and all those other countries, the whole of Europe, who sit in and stand aside and see all the wickedness that is going on among black people, trying to destroy black people all over the world. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. Right? And imposing your LGBTQ, whatever the hell you call it, and trying to tell the African nation that they have to abide with it. And because one nation, Gambia I think it is, decided to make laws against it, you decide to impose sanctions. Why don't you impose sanctions on the Arabs and on other countries that refuse it? Why don't you impose sanctions on them? Why are you not saying anything about their refusal? No, but you want to keep the Africans down. I say, we will not stand for that. We will not stand for that. It's time you respect us. It's time you respect us. One way or the next. It's time you white men in the world respect black people, respect Africa, respect Africans all over the world. It doesn't matter where we are. Respect us. And when I say respect, I mean it in every sense of the word, respect. You are not God. And learn that.